Hey guys, so today I have my first update for my Pan That palette. I'm doing the Viseart, Cool Mattes. This is the older version. They've since released a newer version, which I actually think is prettier. But there's my progress. Let's see. I'll insert the pictures, but I don't know if you're going to be able to see a lot happening here. So I've used every shade in the palette over the last month. Love, love, love this palette. I think it's an amazing staple palette. Yeah, so when it comes to the Viseart palettes, especially this particular style of Viseart palette, I love these palettes as staples. And what I've found is I feel like I either work in one of two ways, and I kind of last year I had the Makeup Forever palette, and that was a standalone palette, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and I could just reach for that one palette, and it was cool, and that was all I needed. This palette is exact opposite. Although it can be a standalone palette, I prefer it with other palettes. So I've been using tons of my other palettes, which has been very, very fun. But man, these are just great staple colors. If I want a gray, this is the palette that I want to reach for because it's the best gray in my collection. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really enjoying the palette. I'm having fun with it. I feel like I'm actually making some progress. Let's see, I accidentally ran my fingernail through this guy here. So that was kind of unfortunate. I've got some, let's see. Okay, so I ran my fingernail through this guy here, so that's what happened there, but I have been using it down in this corner. Got some progress there. It's kind of hard to see, but I definitely have some progress there. I've been using this shade a lot. Once again, progress hard to see. I haven't used the blue very much. I kind of burnt myself out on blue, but I still love blue. I just haven't been using it as much as I probably should be. Let's see, I'm trying to focus in close, but I don't think it's working. Okay, great dip in this pink shadow. This burgundy, I don't think you can tell, but I might hit pan on this one soon. I love, love, love that shade. Not been using this gray as much, and I really haven't used the browns at all because I'm kind of saving those for the winter. So, anyways, sorry about all the focusing problems. Hope that wasn't too terrible to watch. It was kind of terrible for me. Anyways, so that's pretty much my update on that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about, well, I'm going to leave this open. So I used my Makeup Forever shadows from last year, and I'm still kind of working. Before I put this palette away, I kind of wanted to work on, I wanted to finish this shade. It was actually the thing that, after I finish that shade, this palette can go away for a little while. Because I go through these sort of, I'm using this as an all over base lid shade, so I kind of go through those quite frequently and pretty fast. So this palette has this one and this one, but I don't want to use, I don't like to focus on those first. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to hit pan in something, and that's the easiest one to hit pan in, and so they start using them first. I like to savor those though until the end, because then if I want to travel with the palette, I don't have to grab another palette. It's already in there, and because I know I can use them so fast, I don't really care to do that. So yeah, that's sort of my thought process on that. However, I also wanted to show you that I did make some more progress on this palette. So that's cool, since the last time that you saw it. So there's more pan. So I know some of you guys just enjoy seeing pan. So here's some more for you. The other thing, let me zoom out. This is badly focused video. I'm so sorry, guys. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the color story on these two palettes. So when I was using this palette last year and then I decided to use this palette this year, I'm like, man, I really like that color story, you know? And so one of the very first things I did when I got the Viseart palette out was compare them. So I really wanted to see which shadows do I like better, which formula do I think is better. I really wanted to get down and like dirty, and because I love the Makeup Forever formula and I love the Viseart formula, so I wanted to kind of figure out if I liked one over the other. And honestly, I think I like the Viseart formula as far as mattes go just a little bit better. But one of the things that really interested me about this palette was when you put it to this cool toned palette, you can see how absolutely warm toned this palette is. You can kind of see on camera right there. Sometimes I can't really tell as much when I'm just eyeballing them without this specific lighting. It's a little bit harder to tell, but I think in this lighting you can really kind of see it. But so I wanted to swatch it out for you just because I found that to be like really interesting. So I'm just going to swatch, let's see, like, kidding, you know, go on. Hey. Get your nostrils and your fur butt out of my shadow. Look at this cat. No, I had to walk away and get a wipe. So if she did something, I will see it in editing. Did you put your nose in my shadows? Okay. So let's see. This shadow here, I'm not going to do a great job at swatching right now, but like there's not really a dupe in this palette for that shadow. That one's probably the closest one, and then this one has like quite a bit of brown in it. So yeah, that was interesting because I would have thought that there was a dupe for that. And then like I was, oh shoot. And then I was thinking that maybe this one did, but this shadow has a ton of, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this shadow has like a lot of purple in it. You can really tell on the eye when it's blended out well, but it has a lot of purple in it. So that was interesting to me. Then we have, this one might be hard because it's such a light shadow. There we go. So then we have this one, and I was thinking that, you know, one of, so I was thinking that this guy would be very similar, and it's just not. So anyways, and then I definitely want to do the purples and the pinks because I found that interesting. Let's see. So I'll do this pink first. I'm trying to get these, there we go, built up pretty good. I know the Viseart pink's quite sheer. Well, you can make it pretty sheer, but look how different that is. Like, that's so much more warm toned. Isn't that wild? I don't know, maybe you're not as fascinated by it as I am, but just like in my mind, these two palettes were very, very similar. And then we have, I don't have like anything on my arm to aid with swatching, so. And then look at that, like, look how much more warm toned that burgundy is. Isn't that cool? Cool. Okay, I'm being a total makeup nerd. Or maybe not even a makeup nerd. Maybe more of a color nerd. Anyways, so I found that fascinating that this is actually like, even though this color scheme is typically something you see in a cool tone palette, it's actually a very warm toned palette. So that was very interesting to me. Maybe not as interesting to you. Or maybe like warm tone to neutral, I would say. Anyways, I like both of these palettes. I'm happy with them. I don't really care for the two grays in this palette because they're too dark. Yeah, they're just too dark for my complexion, and when I wear them, it's almost like I put on like a black. They're like charcoal, you know what I mean? So, not really for me. And they don't, like with the Viseart shadows, one thing that I love about the Viseart shadows is that like you can sheer these out. You can do a very sheer layer of like a sheer wash of color with Viseart shadows, and then you can build it up and then do a second wash. And so, and they, regardless of how much shadow you put on, they look very well blended. They look really nice. So even if you're doing a super sheer wash of a gray, it looks very blended and very nice. What I found with other brands, and even good high-end brands, is that a lot of times you don't have that ability to manipulate the shadows. So like with these, if I try to do a sheer wash of like these grays or the blacks, they don't look as blended. They look a little bit patchy. They just don't look as nice. But if I go full on, they're beautiful. But if I'm just trying to do like a sheer wash like I'm talking about, it just doesn't work as well. And that is one of the things that I just keep loving over and over and over about Viseart shadows, is just the amount of control you get with them, the ability to really manipulate them if you use a different brush, if you use a different technique, if you use a different primer. Like there's just such an ability to manipulate them that I don't get with other shadows. Anyway, so let me quit oohing and ahhing over Viseart shadows. That's my update. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back in a month, 2 months. I don't know. I don't always feel the need to update every single month, but hopefully I'll have some more like comparisons or things to do, and I think that makes it a little more interesting. And anyways, so I will see you guys again next month. Bye!